Hello. Sorry. My apologies. That took a little while. Hello. Yes. Um, Big up to everyone in chat here. Just get Nuno Espirito. Yeah, he got sacked in a dramatic fashion. To City, we stand a better chance of beating United and Arsenal with Nuno than Guardiola. Well, I suppose that's a debate to be had. We'll maybe get around to that later, but I'll just start off with the actual subject of the stream. But yeah, Nuno knows how to adapt. Here's the thing, yeah, as you say, Nuno adapts, and Pep Guardiola. I mean, sure, it works when you have all the players, but if you refuse to adapt when you lack the players, you're inviting the problems onto yourself, I think. Uh, Guaranteed, under a different manager, we will challenge for the title this season. I think it's already done for this season. How many points are we behind Liverpool? 6, I believe. And that's only gonna get worse. If you get a new manager, it's gonna take them a week or two, at least, to get their style embedded, so that's more points dropped. So I think the title is already done, if I'm being honest. Hello, big up to him, big up to Teal as well. How are you guys? Pep will play this useless high line against United. Well, I think the high line might not be as bad with the players coming back, which again we'll get into. But yeah, Pep has to set up properly for this derby. Good afternoon, big up to Chase. I think Linders has made an existing problem from last season worse. Sure, that's what a club are we? Apparently a club full of injuries. That's what I'm about to talk about, because it's the injury list, but this doesn't look nice to look at, so I put it in here instead. So Marmoush, Cherki, and Kovacic, we know for certain 100% will not be ready to start. Foden might be fit enough. Guardiola, Stones, same story. We don't know. But we know of these three for certain they're not fit enough to play the game. So that's already 3 players there who are, well, 2 players who I think are starters, and then 1 player who is a decent option off the bench for what it's worth. Then Stones, Guardiola, you've got no defensive depth. I mean, they're injured. I don't want to rely on Aki. So no defensive depth there at all. And to answer the question in the title, let's compare this. So you might wonder, what is this mess? This is absentees for Man City measured by injuries. So let's count how many players suffered an injury for Man City last season. We'll start with last season, and then we'll come back to this season. So Ederson, 1 injury for Ederson. 2, Scott Carson. Brits, I don't care about, not a starter. 3, Ruben Diaz. Akanji is 4. Ake is 5. Stones is 6. No. Rodri is 7. Then Kovacic had an injury for a while, is 8. De Bruyne is 9. Doku is 10. Grealish is 11. Foden is 12. Savio, who had it's a small injury, let's say 12.5 for Savio. Oscar Bob, that's 13.5. And Haaland, 14.5 injuries. Let's say that. 14.5 injuries in the whole of last season. Now, the season has only just started, and we have picked up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fuck Phillips. 6, 7, 8, 9 injuries. Fuck Ederson as well. Doesn't matter. 8 injuries. So what game week are we? I believe it's game week 3, right? Man City. So we are 3 games into the season. And we have picked up 8 injuries that I cared about. 8 relevant injuries, I'll say. Last season, we picked up 14 injuries all season. I mean, if you do math, we end this season, I mean, with what? If it being generous here, with a 10th through the season, that's 80 injuries. Now, of course, you won't pick up 80 injuries, that's not how it works, but like, that's the pace we're moving at. Like, that's ridiculous. Of course, that will slow down, I know. But we are definitely getting more than 14 injuries, if I'm being honest with you. The way we're going right now, we will get onto those injuries. I'm just convinced of that, really. So, it's LIJNDERS at fault of that, because I mean, it's way more injuries than last season, and it's a younger squad, by the way. Trimmed Squad FC. Foden is not a game changer. He has no... Well, this is just wrong. But, he's not been good the past few seasons. The past season, and now at the start of this season, should I say. So, that's just facts, I guess. Hello, big up to those as well. How are you? Anyhow. If you look at all these injuries here, because... I mean, this is the best squad I've made against Man United. I guess I'll put Gianni in the 10, not Gonzalez. This is the best squad I can think of right now against United. Imagine how much better this will be if you just plucked Marmoush and Cherky and Ted. I think this is way better. Now, if you had a proper right back, I'd play him as well. Our squad is nurtured by all the injuries, bro. How can you have this many injuries at the start of the season? Now, I know O'Reilly and Lewis kept international duty. They didn't pick up any injuries. But the amount of injuries is insane, bro. Like, people need to dig this, bro. 8 injuries. Big up. We coming to smash you in 10 days. Big up, don't be bout stripping now. Oh, dear. Good, about you? Yeah, I'm doing, well, I'd actually lie if I said I'm doing good. For a multitude of reasons, but... I did. Oh, well. Get in the bin. Injuries are part of the game. No, injuries are part of the game. We had 14 injuries last season. Now we've got 8 already. That is our medical staff. That is our coaches not doing their job, bro. What type of training are they giving these guys? They're making these guys fucking run up a mountain and back down and up and down and up and down again, bruv. Like, what is this? What training are you doing to get 8 injuries at the start of a season? How do you do that? Like, Stones, we know you're gonna get injured. Aki has not picked up his annual injury yet. Once Aki picks up his annual injury, that goes up to 9. So, beautiful that. When Diaz picks up his injury, because he'll pick up an injury, we've run him to the ground as well. Silva might pick up an injury. We're up to 11 injuries already. Probably by halfway through the season, if I'm being honest. That ain't normal. If we keep playing Rodri, because Rodri is not ready to be playing week in, week out. He's ready to play 1 week, then to be on the bench the next week, and maybe come off the bench. He's not ready to play full 90s, 30 games straight. So I think it's a mixture of having run players into the ground. I think that is part of the problem. But I also think that, like, just the training has all to be ridiculous as well. We had so many injuries last year, it cost us a title. Not really though, because, like, you won most of the games where you had injuries. So, with your money, injuries shouldn't matter. We'll get to that. Hamstring injuries are high. Ram had 916 injuries last season. Why are injuries okay when it's Arsenal, but a problem when Man City has them? Can't I say that, bro? The problem is Arsenal fans use injuries as an excuse for losing the title. I'm saying we've got injuries, what the fuck are we doing? You literally said, we had so many injuries, it cost us the title. No. You did that to yourself by poorly managing your club. And now Man City is doing the same. I mean... when you have a lot of injuries, that is on the club. You can't say, oh, we bottled the title because or we didn't win the title because we got unlucky. No. Your club was poorly managed. But what I'm trying to figure out here is who's at fault for these injuries? Why are we getting these injuries? Who needs to be sacked or who needs to be hired? Maybe we need to hire someone to get these injuries down. Meanwhile, Arsenal fans use it as an excuse. I use it as a problem to be solved. That's the difference. It's the way you view it. LIJNDERS is too intensive. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's not like I'm on the training pitch with LIJNDERS to figure it out myself, but that's what everyone tells me. That when you watch the Inside City clips, you see how just it's constantly just like high pace all the time, but like it's the start of the season. They're doing the type of drills I expect to see in January. But with September. With start of September and we're doing the type of drills I would expect to see halfway through the season. With no pre-season, by the way. And let's talk about pre-season as well, by the way. We skipped pre-season, we did the Club World Cup, okay, whoopity-doo. But we went into into pre-season only one game. We had all that rest, and then from all that rest, suddenly, intensive drills. No warming up, no coming into it, just from doing nothing to moving 100 miles an hour. You know what it is, yeah? It's like when you get in a car, and you got cars, like, they accelerate, you go from 0 to 50 in maybe a second. That's a pretty good acceleration. But now what if you go from 0 to 200 in 1 second? Well, I don't think your body can handle that G-force, bro. I think that's what we're doing to these players. We're putting all that pressure on these players, their body, by going from 0 to 200 in 1 second. They had nothing, and we're fucked, bro. Medical staff as well. Yeah, I agree. Medical staff needs to be looked at, bro. And not enough people talk about this. Now, the previous guy who was in charge, I'm not sure what he was in charge of. I know he was in charge of something in the medical staff. I'm not sure exactly what. I need to rewatch the documentary. But one of the guys, important guys in the medical staff, got cancer. Which, of course, is very unfortunate, and it's very sad to hear that. But him leaving Man City is directly tied to Man City getting more injuries. Did we not replace the guy? Like, I don't want to make light of cancer, that's just terrible. But he left at the end of the 4th beat. After that, we started getting more injuries. Maybe I'm making a correlation and causation mistake here, but I think that's related. I think we didn't replace that guy who left adequately. We should have replaced him better. It's easier to hate on art, brother. Man City is literally the most hated club in world football. What do you want? Yet, people are jealous. We run social media. People are harder on Arsenal for sure. But sure, social media accounts aren't equal. Chelsea has a bigger social media presence than Arsenal. But like, oh. Nobody's jealous of Arsenal. This is the thing with Arsenal. Arsenal has this like weird inferiority complex where whenever they're questioned, or whenever someone is laughing at them, or whenever they make mistakes, they have to somehow see it as a win. Cole Palmer and Saliba both got a groin injury in warm-up. Happens. Yeah, but that's one player. We've got 8 injuries after 3 weeks. What's the medical staff doing? Clearly not their job. Clearly not their job. Pep Linders is Occam's razor. These guys are some of the most physical specimens. Their bodies are built to handle the acceleration. Nobody's body is built to go from 0 to 200. That's not how human bodies work. If nobody is built in a way to survive a semi-truck smashing into them. If you train all your life, you will still not be able to survive a semi-truck smashing into you. There's a certain point in time when that training no longer works. Have you ever trained before, by the way? Yes, I have, because I played football for 17 years. So yes, I have. You train at a higher intensity than you play. No, you don't. You don't at the start of the season. It goes in phases of training. Can you pull up the tactical board once? I mean, it's already on screen, but here you go. It's already here. So, when you start out the season, start slow. Now, of course, I played amateur football. It's not like I was a professional, I played as an amateur. But you start slow. Because if you start quick, our bodies explode. That's just the way it goes, bro. You can't start 100 miles an hour. You just can't. For tactics on Sunday. Sure, I mean, I'll talk about that in fact, you know what? We'll talk about it now. We'll talk about it now. This is what I will do on Sunday. I just play with this starting 11. If you want Trafford in goal, okay. I don't care about the goalkeeper. You know what? There we go. Bettinelli in goal. There you go. Whoopity-doo. Because I know people are gonna argue. Trafford, Donnarumma. Nobody cares. That's not where the problem lies. Now, it's a problem I already have. I want to play with a back 3. So I'd have Aït-Nouri push up. And then you'd have this back 3. But this is dysfunctional. So now I'm having to push up Nunez. And bring Aït-Nouri back to sit in that back 3. Which I suppose can work. Savio to hold the width a bit more. Cross balls in, I think is maybe better for him. Then Tijani to crash the box and Bob to go inside. I think this is probably the best we can get. And it's pretty reminiscent of the treble season. If you look at this kind of box midfield. It's not really a box midfield, but it's kind of like what we had in the treble season. You have your wide wingers. Who still can take on their fullbacks, but just they're not going to be coming inside shooting the entire time, which is fine, because neither Savio nor Doku, if he plays, are good at shooting. My big problem is in this area here with Aït-Nouri. Now, if Stones, or sorry, not Stones, Gvardiol, is fit enough to play, I think this is an easy fix. Because what do? Just do this. Easy fix. You drop Nunez. You move everything to the right a bit, and there you go. Easy fix. Now you've got 3 players here who I trust to play, and you've got pace in behind. You have Bob, who it's not always great, but and you have Savio here in this area. You can still swap them, by the way. You can have Savio on the left, Aït-Nouri here. Works fine. In fact, Aït-Nouri can play here and let Gonzalez push up. All of this works just fine. So, I do still think there are solutions to our problems. Injuries can't be an excuse, like for Arsenal fans. We do have to win on Sunday, I think. But my problem is we've got no depth. I mean, look at the bench. Nunez? Okay. That's something. Stones fits. Got great defensive depth there, and Foden. O'Reilly, I guess, as a left back. That's our depth. That's how far our depth extends, which is really not far. And I just want to show you, Man City could have way better. Now, let's say instead of Stones, we have Ba. young player who's still ready to play football, not injured every 2 times he plays. Instead of Lewis, we have Cash. Homegrown replacement trade for Lewis. Way better right back, and if Cash plays, you could probably drop Diaz or Vardiol. In fact, if Vardiol is injured, but you have Cash, you can still do this. Let's make a thing. Let's say you have a right back. Cash is just an example. There you go. Even if Vardiol is not fit, no problem. You've got your solution there. But we don't. If you have Echeverri, then on the bench it's not Silva, but it's Echeverri. Or maybe you could keep Silva on the bench and sell Kovacic, however you want. And then Doku to be replaced with any of these wingers who actually score goals. So now you've got someone coming off the bench that can score goals. If we did that, our bench should be 3 times better, even with the injuries, and I will be confident that we'd beat United. However, that's not what we've done. I'm not even sure if Husanov will play because of what we're doing. It's... that's a problem, isn't it? Even when we've got players available, Pep will play the wrong ones. Donnarumma, Nunez, Husanov, Ake. Ake. Oh, I'll have to, Oh, I think that might be dead, you know. I think Ake is so done as a player. And I really rate Ake, but I think he's done, I can't lie. But, let's see how that works. So I'm guessing something like this. Is Ake slower than Diaz? I don't know. I think at this point he might be, with all the injuries he's had. Hopefully not. Rodri, Nico Tijani, Foden, Bob Haaland. Okay, so I was going to talk about Foden in a second. Foden, we're not sure if he's fit. We're not sure if he's fit yet, so I do just want to say that. But if he's fit to play, I would definitely play him. This is the type of game where you just need someone who can score a goal. I'd rather have Marmouche on that left wing, sure, but we have Foden. Put him on the left wing. Don't put him in midfield. He's not ready to play in midfield yet, I think. Mentality-wise and stuff. Put him on the wing. Let him get confidence. Let him just put in a cross. Let him cut in and cut a ball back. Let him do the Foden stuff he used to do. Just calm a game for Foden. Control the game a bit. And I think that works. I think that's just fine. Then you have Savio on the bench. You can bring Savio off the bench if you're chasing a goal, but Savio's not going to score, let's be honest. Maybe if Bob is playing a board game, you can do this. I see what I did there. I don't know about Ake, to be honest. I'd like to see your reasoning behind that. How can Man City be decimated by injuries again? Guardiola, I mean, it's not a small squad. It's... I mean, yeah, I get your point. It's not that we have a small squad, it's just none of the players are good enough on the bench. I mean, replace Doku with a goal-scoring winger, replace Stones with a young centre-back, replace Silva with Echeverri, and replace Lewis with a proper right-back. And even with all the injuries we still have depth, but... yeah, alas, it is not so. Nunez to play after gifting Brighton a penalty. I think it's more so we've got no one else. I think if Vardiol is fit, everyone is doing this. Assuming Vardiol is fit, everyone will be saying this. I assume. In fact, if Vardiol is fit, how about this? You play Nunez on the right, or maybe on the left wing. You could also do that. Play Nunez on the right wing and Bob on the... Nunez on the left wing, Bob on the right wing. And then, you've got 2 wingers there who can cross, who can shoot. Bob maybe not so proven. Nunez decently proven. Then you can go bring on your Savio and your Foden. Again, depending on Foden's fitness. I don't know why we brought this Pep LIJNDERS, or whatever his name is spelled. To this day, I don't think training was our problem last season. I think it was the ideas. I think the tactics were supposed to get revamped. And Pep Linders brings that heavy metal football tactics and ideology to your squad. So I get it. It's new tactics, but if we're not gonna listen to Pep Linders, his new tactics, and we're gonna allow him to run plays ragged in training, what's the point of getting him? Like, Nuri can't defend. He doesn't have the pace to stop attacks like Husanov. Yeah. Yeah. If we had a proper right back, that'd be fine. We are screwed, with or without injuries. Oh. The manager is washed. I mean, yeah. We can draw up plans here, yeah? We can draw up these plans. Like, I think this is absolutely fine. Play Man United with this, back 3. Let's like Nuri push up. Regardless of injuries, I do think we're fine. But we're not gonna do that. Spoiler, we're not gonna do that. We might as well get Nuno as assistant coach. Nuno as assistant coach would be way better than Pep Linders. The problem is he'll never accept that. Just back to midfield, do something different. I mean, yeah, you can try that, sure. Maybe you bring on Silva. Or Foden, let's do Foden here. Or O'Reilly, I guess O'Reilly. Take off... Let's say Gvardiol is not fit enough to play. Let's just assume he's not fit enough to play. You could play a 3-4... I guess a 3-4-3. Back to midfield, as you say. How does this look defensively, though? Like, that's my problem. How does this look defensively? And how is like Nuri going forwards here? Or maybe you want to do something different. Maybe you want a 4-4-2. I mean, you'd have to put on an extra centre back there. 3-5. 3-5-2, guys. What are we thinking? 3-5-1-1? Oh, this is dead. This is proper dead, I can't lie. And the problem with packing midfield is we don't have the team to pack the midfield with. Perhaps arrogance is the reason we are in this mess. We just have to, I mean, if I'm being honest, just play 4-4-2. That is my solution. Just play 4-4-2. You put Rodri Gonzalez in that 4-4-2. You put Nunez at right midfield. You put O'Reilly at left midfield. Diaz, Gusnov, Gvardiol. Again, assuming Gvardiol is fit. And then I'd put Tijani. Sorry. I'd put Tijani as a, like, shadow striker, I suppose. You could do Foden for that, depending on the fitness or the bob. This is maybe something more functional. Because let's be honest, if we play the way we want to play, we'll get burned again. Our squad, without injuries, was getting burned for playing this way. Now, with all the injuries we've accumulated, we need to be smart. We can't be going in at Man United and say, this is the City way of playing and fuck you. Because we'll get burned. It's that simple. We'll get burned. We also have the Pep surprise tactic to look forward to that he always does. Yeah, the Pep surprise is coming, guys. Bernardo Silva at right back. Or Haaland. Haaland right back. Wonderful, guys. Push both Nunez and Nuri forward. Play Rodri as a left centre back. I mean, I get that. But, I mean... Now you're sacrificing... Now you're sacrificing your... class DM, absolute class of a DM, to get a decent attacker in there, and a decent centre back. I don't know if that works either, to be honest. Evening Alf, big up to Godfrey, big up. Haaland will play right back on Sunday. Napoli will be good too. Yeah, Napoli is always banging. To be fair, I don't know where I heard this. It was a live show that I was watching. And someone did bring up the good point. Conte in Europe is not as great as he is in leagues, my response to that is, yeah, but we're not as great as we used to be. So, that's a bit moot. Is Donnarumma starting? Probably. He's probably starting, but I don't want to discuss goalkeepers because I don't think that's where the problem lies. I mean, we've got 4 of them. We've got Bettinelli, Ortega, Donnarumma, and Trafford. None of them are injured, so I don't think that's where the problem lies. Breaking news, Sky Sports. Oh yeah, I saw this. Chelsea breaking the rules, bruv. 2 billion spent and they can't even match our charges, bro. Absolute frauds. Formations don't matter, brother, if the players aren't good enough. Well, that's just wrong. If you play... I mean... all this FIFA talk don't work in real life, then why do they pay managers millions upon millions to do these tactics? Pep Guardiola gets paid 19 million a year for what? If formations and tactics don't matter. Why is he getting paid so much? Like 19 million, so that's an absolute waste of money if formations don't matter. Chelsea got 74 charges. Man City don't have cojones from what you're saying. No, here's the difference. Here's the difference between bravery and stupidity. Bravery is when you can do something, but it's difficult, and you have to go out of the way and you can potentially get burned. Stupidity is when it's something that you simply do not have the resources to do and you try to do it anyhow. That's the difference. It's not about bravery, it's about being stupid. If we played the way we've been playing, losing to Brighton, losing to Tottenham, losing a bunch of games last season, I mean, you can't keep doing the same thing and expecting something to change. I'd rather see a mid-block, even if we play the exact same formation, yeah? Even if we play the exact same formation. Let's say Gusnov, Diaz, Guardiola play, and we have Bob. Let's throw Bob in here. Where is Bob? And Savio. Where is Savio? Oh, here he is. Even if we played this exact same formation, set up a bit deeper. Instead of making your high line, set up a deep block in this area. Like, right now, our high line is over in this area. A bit deep. Go to here when you're defending. Don't let these fast players like Mbeumo absolutely cook you on transition. You don't have to change the entire formation, but you have to change some tactics and the way we defend, especially when you've got so many injuries. Is Pep LIJNDERS sabotaging us? Honest to God, I have no idea. I don't know where the problem lies, honestly. I mean, is it medical staff? Probably. Probably a problem in medical staff there. But is that alone enough to explain why we've dropped so many players? I mean, maybe it is. Maybe we're attacking Pep LIJNDERS and he's not done anything wrong. Maybe it's just the medical staff is fucking up. But then I think the medical staff was fucking up last season. And we didn't have this many injuries last season. So maybe it's both. Maybe they're compiling and making the existing problem worse. I think whatever it is, we need to take better care of these players. I hope Chelsea are found guilty, but I know they won't. I mean, I don't care, to be honest. Brother, you know how hard it is to get a system drilled. Okay, so why does Thomas Frank swap system so often with Brentford? They're professional footballers. If you play the same way all season, you're gonna get destroyed by every team you play. No team plays the exact same way every game. Man City in the treble season played a 4-4-2 defending against Bayern München at the Etihad and won 3-0. Against Real Madrid at the Etihad, we were playing in a not really a 4-3-3. It was like a 3-2-2-3, I guess. Well, it was not a 4-4 or a 4-3-3. So in the quarterfinal we played one way, in the semi-final we played in a completely different way. Can't play the same way every game. You just can't. This weekend I'm stressing against Man United. I think we should win, but honestly, I would not be surprised because Amorim is done 3-0 over Pep. Pep gets paid no, I mean, it was a draw, the third game, but still. Pep gets paid millions to lose to mid-table teams. Clearly. Gvardiolo on RV. Gvardiolo. Gvardiolo. Gvardiolo on right back, nah. I've seen that from This Is City, but here's the thing here with Gvardiol on right back, because I've seen that from a bunch of people now after the This Is City posted that. Let's do Gvardiol right back. And you've got Stones here. As your only other option. So, because Aki cannot play right back. He can play left back, but not right back. Gvardiol gets injured. Stones comes on. If he's fit enough to even play. This is that. So, it's one thing to swap system mid-season. It's another thing to swap system mid-game. I don't like Gvardiol at right back because it might work for one game. It's not going to work consistently. And we don't have the depth to play that way. Difference between a knife and precision sword. What? Difference between a knife and precision. I don't know what you mean by that. Alf, please trust in the GOAT. He will sort it out. I've been hearing that since Feyenoord when I first said to sack him. That's almost a year, mate. I'm tired of trusting. I'm starting to want to see something. And Postecoglou is back, bro. Forest, they're gonna... Hey, this is another thing. The way you play can incentivize more injuries. Look at Ange Postecoglou. He was always playing so high up the pitch. His players had to run back constantly every time they got countered. And they were doing hamstrings all over the gaff. Maybe it's the way we play. I mean, it's no one reason. It's probably a compilation of all the reasons, but maybe we're playing so aggressively. I'm not saying that that's the case, but you can play this way with players who are younger. But then I look at Stones. You can't play that way with Stones, though, can you? Guardiola was overplayed last season. Kovacic, I mean, he's old. Marmoush, I will say that Marmoush is probably just bad luck. That's probably just bad luck. Player goes to international break, gets injured after a rough game. Bad luck. Can't do anything about that. Come on. Let me drag him over to here. Cherky? I mean... What even happened with Cherky? I mean... How did he get injured that badly, bro? He just came here. I mean, so many players here just coming here who've barely had injuries in their career and they're picking up massive injuries. I'm interested to see what Kaldun is going to do when City is fighting relegation zone in the coming week. We are 2 losses away from 17-18th. Well, push up quickly when we get a few wins. Because we have easier fixtures coming up, which I'll get to. So we'll push up the table quickly. I don't think we'll be fighting relegation, but I don't think Kaldun will do anything, if I'm being honest. Do you remember the clip of Liverpool got head loss about Zubimendi? Hussam, yes, I do remember that clip. All these formations, easy to say. In game, it's moments players goal to dynamically adapt to. Okay. So why does Thomas Frank swap systems then? Why does Thomas Frank play one game 4-4-2 and play the next game 4-2-3-1? Which are completely different systems. Why does Thomas Frank do that to success? Why does Oliver Glasner play one way in one game and then a completely different way in another game, which leads to him winning an FA Cup if these things just don't work? I'm not gonna sit here, digest every single detail of these formations like I understand them. None of us do. But if you don't swap up anything, and then you get cooked again. I mean, I even said you don't even have to change the formation. Play the same formation, but set up your block at this area, a mid block, instead of here, a high line. Just that difference might save a lot of Man City problems defensively. And if you can save a lot of your own problems defensively, going forwards, you can attack a bit more freely, knowing you probably won't get cooked. Now, of course, if they sit back, you'll struggle to score. But that's when you start adjusting in-game. Look at how your opponent reacts and decide in-game. Maybe I should push up a bit more. And that's something you can decide in-game. I'm not saying completely change the whole system that they've... I'm not saying go from Pep ball to Mourinho ball in one game. But there are things you can change, like formations. Formations are the most basic thing to change. These are things you can change. Get Thomas Frank and... I don't want to like Emery. Johnny Stones. That's our Johnny Stones, always injured. Lovely. Imagine Nottingham Forest win against second place Arsenal. They play next week? Arsenal. Yeah, they play next week. Well, Arsenal is third actually, so they're not second place right now. They might end up there at the end of the season, because I do think they're better than Chelsea. Alf, respectfully, I don't think you grasp we have a special one-of-a-kind in Pep. Respectfully, I don't think you grasp that this is the same argument that people use with Jose Mourinho before he got washed and with Arsene Wenger before he got washed. I don't give a fuck what he did in the past because he's not doing it now, and it's no indication that he's going to do it in the future. We're not here for the past, we're here for the future. A special one-of-a-kind who's not replicating what he used to do. What does it matter? If there will never be another one like him. But that's what you're missing the point. All the managers coming through are cooking Pep. Ruben Amorim cooks Pep. Oliver Glasner, Thomas Frank cook Pep. Not anymore. Barely. Not anymore. Because none of them ever went one win in 13. That's on Pep. That is the worst form of any of those three managers ever shared between them. That's Pep. Who, by the way, had the most resources because when they had their bad seasons, they did not get 150 million in January. Which you do have to admit to. What Pep did in the past is no indication of what he'll... None of them done it 4 in a row. Who gives a fuck, mate? Johan Cruyff did a 4 in a row. 2 seasons later, he was sacked. I mean, come on. It's very easy to say this manager did this in the past. What people do in the past is no indication of what you'll do in the future. Pep did not win Invincible. Pep never went invincible, which is a big achievement, even if you don't want to admit it. Pep never won a Champions League with Porto. All of them have something special to them. All of them. It's ridiculous to go to these other managers who have fallen off and say, well, my manager will never do that. He's not God. Not Jesus Christ of Nazareth. He's Pep Guardiola. He's just another manager in a long list of history of managers. And one day, people will stop talking about him as a GOAT. Johan Cruyff was the GOAT of managers. Then it was Alex Ferguson. Now it's Pep Guardiola. One day, people will talk about someone else. He's just another manager. He really is just another manager. Is he our best ever manager? Yes, but he's not doing it anymore. You can say, yeah, he has to stay and all of that. Sure, that's your opinion. But if you're telling me I don't understand this or that, I understand that Pep Guardiola will never reach the level he once reached. He's never coming back to that level. At least not with Man City. Maybe he can do it for another club, but not for Man City. He'll never get to that level again. Pick up, Alf. Pick up, Adam. Come on, Alf. I know you're not his biggest fan, but at the moment, but you can't be serious. I mean, everyone has changed the goalpost. I made a beautiful tweet about this, actually. You know what? Let me find that tweet. I've got it somewhere in my bookmarks. Because I predicted that this would happen, yeah? That people just move the goalposts. There you go. I had to bookmark it. Everyone last season, everyone, don't deny it, everyone said if he does poorly next season, 10. But who is keeping to that? Who's keeping to that, bro? No one's keeping to that. I mean, some people are keeping to that, to be fair. A lot of people are changing goalposts. It's like Arsenal fans, mate, with Arteta. He has to win the title. I have heard Arsenal fans say 2 seasons in a row, Arteta has to win the league title this season or he gets sacked. And each time they change the goalpost. So, what are we doing here? I heard Arsenal fans say in the 4-beat season, Arteta has to win the 4. He has to win the league title. He didn't. They moved the goalpost. I heard people say last season, Arteta has to win a trophy. Move the goalpost. We are just like Arsenal fans in that regard. This is a must-win game. You don't want Man United to topple over your head like they did in last year. I mean, I agree. If they do that, bro. If we don't win, again, I do think we'll win, but if we don't win, we're proper cooked, aren't we? Hope you're doing well personally, but I know you're not looking forward to your next 5 games. I'm looking forward to Huddersfield. I think that will be a comfortable win. To call Pep just another manager is wild. Well, is he not? Alex Ferguson, Pep Guardiola, Johan Cruyff. All of these managers are just another guy in a long list of managers who eventually will be someone who will break their records. Just like, by the way, Di Stefano is just another player who used to be great, who used to be the GOAT, but then Pelé was the GOAT, and then Maradona was arguably the GOAT, and now it's Messi and Ronaldo. Time changes. You say I don't understand that no one can do what Pep once did. That's objectively false. At some point, someone will surpass Pep Guardiola. That is the nature of football. Now, it's very unlikely that Man City ever gets their hands on them. But that is the nature of competitive sports in general. People achieve new heights. Clubs achieve new heights. Players achieve new heights. That is the nature of sports. So say that Pep Guardiola is the greatest of all time and always will be. That's ridiculous and factually wrong. That is when you... There's a specific word for this, but I need to look it up. Give me a moment. What do you call it when you believe the time you live in is special? There you go. Let me look this up. It's like, I can't pronounce this word, bro. Eschatological. There you go. That is my best attempt of that pronunciation. It's like when people have eschatological beliefs. Like, believing that the time you're living in is special from other times. I mean, won a lot of trophies, but that will be surpassed at some point. Big up. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing just fine. Napoli, KDB coming back home, not a Man City, not in a Man City kit, unfortunately. Big up Liam, hope you're doing well. Yeah, big up to Liam. Big up Liam. Who's, by the way, running a new Twitter page now. It is a city on Twitter. He's literally the greatness in human form and you can't see it. He's not Jesus, mate. You are linking Pep Guardiola with Jesus Christ of Nazareth. You have put Pep Guardiola on a godlike pedestal. He is not greatness in human form, he is human. He is human. Not greatness, he's human. A human who's done great things, but human. He's not special from other human beings. He's gonna make mistakes, he's gonna get better and worse at things, he's gonna grow old. He's human. When you don't see the humanity in Pep, you're never going to understand the fact that he'll make mistakes, and that those mistakes sometimes are okay because everyone's human, and sometimes are terrible and cannot be excused, especially when he makes the same mistake for nearly 5 years, for nearly not 5 years, for nearly 1 year counting here. In the next 5 games, if I'm seeing the same mistakes, like, what am I supposed to say of that? Like, you keep saying Pep will fix this. When will Pep fix this? Because 1 year running, we still have a big problem at right back. And Pep has not changed tactics to accommodate for that. Pep has not fixed the problem. When is he going to fix the problem? Being paid 90 million a year to do it. He's not doing it. As always, YouTube is bro. YouTube has been mad buggy recently, hasn't it? Anytime I go on other people's streams, like, I mean, not going on streams, but like when I watch other people's streams, it's laggy as fuck. I don't know what YouTube's up to right now, but no, but in football there is no one close to him and never will or has been. That is your problem. You think that nobody will ever surpass Pep. That is factually wrong. People said the same thing about Johan Cruyff. People said the same thing about Alex Ferguson, who you're now saying has been surpassed by Pep. People will one day say the same thing about another manager, and then they'll say, and then other people will say, well, in the past we said that about Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola is not timeless. No one is timeless. Time moves on. Time does not care about us. Time does not care about football. By the way, to say no one is close to him is just wrong. I don't think he's above and beyond, by all metrics, above every other manager in history. I don't think that's true. I think he's arguably the greatest of all time, but say he's well above and beyond everyone ever is also wrong. Pep, the pressure is on him more. Every time he loses, the pressure increases, by the way. Like, you know. Anyhow. With all of the things we've talked about so far today, and the injuries included, which, by the way, you know, because here's another thing, yeah. A lot of people don't respect players like Brian Johnson, who, by the way, I know he's shit, Brian Johnson. I know he's shit. But imagine we had Brian Johnson, yeah, for just against Man United. Just against Man United, Brian Johnson. Not good enough for Man City. I'm not saying it's good enough for Man City. It's not. He's better than Doku, but he's not good enough for City. But if we had someone like that, who's not good enough for Man City, and you're chasing a goal and you bring that off the bench, I think you probably have more of a threat there than if you're bringing Doku off the bench. So, I don't get how bad the injuries are. I don't want to see Doku coming on. Unless he plays on the right. Maybe on the right it's fine, but even then, not really. I don't want to see Doku coming on. just because we've got injuries. And I don't want to see Bernardo Silva coming on either. So, and if someone like Brandon Johnson, who's not good enough, can do that for me, imagine what someone better can do. But anyhow, thinking about our injuries. We do play at home, by the way. We do play... And when Huddersfield won 3 titles in a row, did somebody say no one's ever won 3 titles in a row? This manager will never be surpassed? People always believe they live in the peak time. You don't live in the peak time. People saw Maradona and thought no one will ever be better than this, and then Messi was born. Time moves on, bro. Time does not give 2 fucks. And no, winning 4 in a row does not tell me everything. Alex Ferguson played against prime George Graham and against prime Arsene Wenger. Respectfully, Klopp is not on that level. So that doesn't say everything. You can argue Pep is the greatest, but to say, oh, you won 4 in a row, he's the greatest ever. A manager who won like 10 league titles in a row in fucking, I don't know, in whatever league. I think it's Romania. A lot does it. Your infatuation with Johnson has to be studied. Well, you guys don't like when I bring up Elanga. You don't like Johnson. You don't like Bowen. Unless it's Rodrigo, Man City fans don't want him, so I don't know, bro. I don't know. What's happening, bro? Good morning from Vancouver. Big up to Calcio. Well, what's happening is Man City's been fucked with injuries. Pep Guardiola has been working on a solution for over a year now, but I'm still not seeing the solution. And we're playing the derby against Ruben Amorim and his scrubs. Now, I just hope Pep Guardiola doesn't... Because Pep Guardiola, you know, sometimes that guys get in his head. I hope Amorim is not in Pep's head. But we just have to win the derby. It's not about... Forget about injuries, forget about this, that, or the other. If we are being completely honest, we lose against Arsenal. At the Emirates, against Arsenal, if we're being completely honest, we will lose. Napoli, I think we probably lose too. Man United is the only game in our next 3 games I can realistically see us winning. So, we just have to beat them, in my opinion. So maybe rise to the occasion and we do, but we just have to beat Arsenal. Will we? Bro, you know what's crazy, yeah? Juventus had a similar problem with as Man City. They used to have the best medical staff in the world. Now their medical staff is shit, bro. I agree we have to beat maybe Arsenal. Because we've dropped so many points earlier already. But will we? I don't think, realistically speaking, we will. So, I mean, if we get a draw against Arsenal, honest to God, if we get a draw, I'll be surprised. I'll be surprised if we even get a draw. If we get a win, you're about to see some fucking glazing of whoever scored the winning goal. But, yeah. Man United. Listen, the injuries are bad. But to round up on the injury talk, injuries are bad. But Man United is not great either. And we can do something about it. If we just go to a mid-block, honest to God, just go to a mid-block. And maybe if Guardiola is fit, play Guardiola. I think this solves like most of our issues. Defensively. Especially having Husnov there. But Husnov will draw fouls. That's where I have the other problem. Husnov will draw fouls. It's not controlled enough. I would not be surprised. Let's say Guardiola is not fit. If we see this. With Stones at right back. Because John Stones won't pick up the fouls. Then he lacks the pace. Anyhow. Doesn't look great against United, but I think our midfield is so much better than theirs if this is the midfield we end up playing. I think we've got Haaland. I mean, I don't think that, I know that. Pop, he's played one bad game. Now show me a good game. And Savio, best that we've probably got unless Foden is fit. He can find Haaland, to his credit, but that's about all he can do. Which isn't enough, but he can find Haaland. Maybe that's enough against Man United. With that said, I do pray we beat Man United, but it won't be comfortable. It will be like a 2-1. A scummy, even, 2-1. To beat Man United, honestly, I don't care. 1-0, most boring game ever. 5-6 or 6-5, most boring ever. Give me the win. That's what I'm worried about. Get me the win. Napoli, Arsenal, we lose. Respectfully, we should be fine. Give Nuno this City team and we'll beat Arsenal. Pep is his own worst enemy. I don't want to see Nunez in this game or against Arsenal. I get that. And I would like to play someone who's more solid at right back. The problem is, who do we have to play right back that is more solid? Gusnov will draw fouls, still. If Gusnov was more calm, I don't mind him at right back, but he's too aggressive sometimes, I think. Which is probably what Pep's big problem is. If I'm being fair to Pep here, Pep probably does not want to play Gusnov at right back because he knows Gusnov will make a foul and that can cost us. It's nothing really perfect or stuff about it, is there? I mean, it's not an excuse. I'm just saying. I'm just waffling, I guess. It's not an excuse at all, so. Anyhow. Huddersfield, respectfully. No matter the injuries, we should be able to beat Huddersfield. And then, lastly, play Burnley. I want to be honest. If we lose Man United and lose to Arsenal and we lose to Napoli, people will still say it's tough games, it's this or that. If we do not beat Burnley, which I find near impossible because most of our injuries are back by the time we play Burnley, if we lose to fucking Burnley, respectfully, especially if we lose all the games before that, except Huddersfield, I don't care about that. I mean, come on. I've been saying it since Feyenoord, nothing has changed. But when you say the same thing for 1 year, but when you say nothing will change, 1 year straight and nothing has changed, and someone else goes to you and says everything will change for that entire year time, but nothing has changed, I think I'm valid to say what I think, aren't I? But anyhow, injuries galore. Whoopity-doo, I suppose. Just don't lose to Man United. If you lose to Arsenal, I get it. Arsenal is better than us, but lose to Man United and bro, what are we doing? Anyhow, I will leave it there. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. There's no one live, I believe. Let me check that, actually. Let me check if anyone is live. And no one's live to redirect to. I mean, Grants is live. I could redirect to Grants and Ban, so it's there 2k viewers and my 20. I don't even have 20 anymore. I'm down to 7. My 7 viewers will help out a ton there at their 2,000. Yeah, I won't do that. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. And injuries, not an excuse, by the way. Fix up the medical staff. Fire someone if you need to. Like, stop being Disneyland FC here. Fire someone if you have to. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.